Many people think if they buy a new construction home that everything will be perfect. They won't have to deal with repairs or issues with the home, but that's just not true. In this video, I'm going to give you 6 reasons why buying new construction is a bad idea. And if you skip this video, you run the risk of buying a home that's not fit for you. Now, I'm not saying that you should completely stay away from new builds, and later in this video, I will share the positives of new construction. But let's get into the 6 reasons why you should not buy a new construction home. Reason number 1, HOAs. HOAs are designed to keep a certain aesthetic for the community and come with monthly fees and restrictions on what you can and cannot do with the exterior of your home. Something as simple as changing the color of the front door or building a deck would need to go before the homeowners association for approval. Now, if you know this is going to be an issue for you and you'd like to be able to make decisions about the exterior of your home without having to go before a board for a vote, new construction is not for you. Reason number 2, potentially long settlements and uncertainty with settlement dates. I recently had a settlement with a new home builder, and the builder finished a month earlier than expected, which is great from a project management standpoint. But for you as a buyer, if you're trying to time your move perfectly with an expiring lease, this could be problematic. Builders are not flexible with settlement dates usually, especially if they're not hitting their sales goals for the quarter, which was the case with my clients. So this could be an issue. Make sure you prepare or account for this as you plan. I also had a client that bought during the pandemic. They built a home here in Maryland where the developer really dropped the ball on seemingly everything when it came to the development in this particular community. My client's move date was delayed by almost a year, if not a full year. They started with a very low interest rate, and the interest rate they had to settle with was significantly higher at settlement than it was when they went under contract. Now, supply chain issues were unique to the pandemic and are not a problem for the most part now. But keep this in mind, when you're building, you're dealing with lengthy settlement dates, and a lot can happen within that time frame. Reason number 3, smaller lots. If you're purchasing a townhome, you likely don't care for a big yard. But if you want a detached home, you may want space for your kids to run around and play in the yard, and for pets, or even if you're a gardener, or just to have some space between you and your neighbor so the neighbor doesn't hear it when you pass gas. A new construction home may not be for you. Most lots are between 0.2 and 0.3 acre lots, and there isn't much space between the houses. So if having a large yard is important to you, or having space between you and your neighbor is important to you, new construction may not be for you. Reason number 4, cookie cutter design and builder grade materials. Another con is cookie cutter designs. Most of the new construction homes are going to have the same look and the same layout. From a business standpoint, it makes sense to have a few floor plans for your construction crews to work on. It just lacks individuality and character. Some builders, not all, but some builders also use builder grade level materials and appliances. These materials are just good enough for them to get a use and occupancy permit so they can sell the house and move on. I recently had a listing that was built in 2019 where the backflow valve for the sprinkler system was the cheapest valve on the market that you could purchase, and it was made with plastic components. A lot of builders will also use bottom of the line appliance packages. I had a friend that bought a new construction home, and once they closed on the property, they took the appliance packages from their old house and put it in the new home. Again, for some new construction home builders, the materials are just good enough to get the house sold and will operate for a few years, and then you may need to or want to replace them for something better. Reason number 5, front foot fees. Front foot fees are fees that the developer pays to have the utilities such as water and electricity brought to the community, and those fees are typically passed on to you as a builder. It's usually an annual payment between $400 and $600 for about 20 years, and the fees are typically due the first day of each new year. If you sell the home, the front foot fee responsibility will be passed on to the new buyer, and they will pick up where you left off. So if you lived in the home for 5 years, the new buyer will have 15 years to pay off the front foot fee. So in addition to your HOA, your condo fee, your mortgage, you will also have an annual front foot fee. Number 6, living in a construction zone. New construction home neighborhoods are typically built in phases. Say there are 3 phases for the community that you want to live in, and the first phase has been released for sale. If you are one of the first people to buy in the neighborhood, you'll be one of the first occupants moving into your home, and you'll be looking and living amongst construction for the next few years. And there may be a promise of amenities in the community, such as a clubhouse or a pool or a doggy park, but those amenities may not be available for a few years after you move in. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Some people are okay with this, but if you're not okay living around construction, you may want to either reconsider buying or consider buying in a later phase of construction. So those are the 6 reasons I would not purchase a new construction home. Let's get into the reasons I would. Reason number 1 why I would purchase new construction home: be the first owner. With new construction homes, you are the first person to live in the property, which may be attractive to you. You'll be the first person to lay on the carpet, to use your appliances such as your dishwasher, your washing machine, and your dryer, which matters a lot to some people. I have a client and friend that darn near took apart her washing machine to clean it before she used it. And I tease her about this all the time. If you're like her, then this is definitely a pro for new construction. The second reason I would recommend a new construction home is they're somewhat customizable. New construction home builders such as Dan Ryan, Ryan Homes, Stanley Martin, and others usually have 3 to 5 design packages for you to choose from. And they range from basic package to mid-level to premium packages. And the reason I say it's somewhat customizable is because although you will be able to go to the design center and choose your flooring, your cabinets, your countertops, and other design items, you are limited to the options that the builder has pre-selected for each package. The third reason I would buy new construction homes is the major systems are new. The most expensive repairs to the home are the HVAC system, plumbing systems, including the water heater, and your roof. Since you're buying the house new, all of those systems are going to be brand new. HVAC systems and water heaters typically have a 15 to 20 year lifespan, and a roof should give you anywhere from 15 to 40 years. So you should not experience any major issues for the first 15 to 20 years as long as you're properly maintaining those systems. And if you do experience issues with the appliances and or major systems in the home, the fourth reason I would recommend new construction is the warranty. The builder will give you a warranty package that will cover the workmanship, defective materials, HVAC, plumbing and electrical systems, and structural defects of the home. So if you do experience any issues with the system within the first year or 2, you may be able to have those issues addressed by the builder's team. And if you register your water heater, your HVAC system, you can also get a manufacturer warranty for the equipment that extends further than the builder's warranty. The fifth reason I would purchase a new construction is you're getting the latest design trends. When a developer is building a home and selecting the layout and design options, they know buyers are going to expect the latest design options and layout. So you will always get the latest design trends with new construction homes, and you usually won't need to do any work to achieve the modern look you want. The sixth reason I would recommend new construction is there's usually less competition. Now hear me out. A home builder usually has time slots available for private tours, and after the tour, if you're ready to put a ring on it, you can make an offer to purchase the home. If you're prepared to put a deposit down on the home the same day, chances are you will get the house. There are waiting lists in competitive markets, but if you're at the top of the list, you should be good. And if not, you may need to wait for the next phase of homes to be built if you really want to live in that particular community. The seventh reason I would purchase new construction are the amenities. Not all, but the bigger new construction communities typically have a clubhouse, maybe a pool, a gym, a doggy park, and some even have walking trails. If this is something that is important to you, then this would be a positive for new construction. The eighth and final reason I would purchase new construction is the HOA. Now, this can be a pro and a con depending on who you are. If you're someone that likes uniformity and order, then an HOA community may not bother you. You can do whatever you want on the interior of the home, but the Homeowners Association will have rules, standards, and guidelines on what you do on the exterior of the home to maintain the uniformity, cleanliness, and a certain aesthetic of the neighborhood that was established by the developer. HOA fees also cover costs for common area upkeep and amenities, which are enjoyed by all who live in the community. So those are my pros and cons for new construction homes from a new home builder. I personally prefer old older homes or resale homes, specifically fixer-uppers, I like being in control of the design choices rather than having to choose between a few pre-selected options. If you have bought a new construction home, comment below. I want to know what you like and don't like about it. And I want to know what your experience was like and if you would do it again. If you'd like to schedule a consultation with me, a link to my calendar is in the description below. And check out my video about how you can use down payment assistance programs to purchase a home with very little money out of pocket. See you in the next video.